This is the Chapter 7 If Practice exercise. Now we are on If Statement 4 sheet. So in this one I'm going to do something a little different in that I'm going to be looking for a value up to $1,000 instead of at least $1,000. So the first thing I want to do, again a few things to do before I do the if statement, I'm going to use fill and arrange to copy my months across. Since it does this for you, you shouldn't be typing it. Insert a row above expenses, select the row, right click insert, insert a row above net income, select the row, right click, insert a row above rebate for expense, and insert a row above maximum expense. Now I'm going to calculate total expenses. So again, the easiest way to do it is select all the cells, including the cell where the total would be, hit AutoSum. Calculate net income in row 12, which is going to be gross income less total expenses. Formula starts with equals, not equals sum. This is not addition. Equals gross income minus total expense. Enter. Copy the formula across. Format the entire worksheet as commas, no decimals. Select all, click on commas, decrease decimal, and then select the two cells for rebate and format them as percentage with one decimal. Percentage and to show an additional decimal. Notice this one said 2% until I said to show an additional decimal, then it showed it in 1.5. And you should of course be following along in the instructions so that you know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and where I'm doing it. So in the if statement, what this is going to be is compare the expense in row 10 to the maximum expense and rebate for low expense and rebate for high expense in 16, 17, and 18. So what the if statement is the expense up to $1,000, meaning did they spend less money, 0 to $1,000, and if they did, they get a higher rebate, so it would be 10% of what they spent. If they spent more than $1,000, they'd get a lower rebate. So basically what you're saying is if your expenses are low, you get a higher rebate. If your expenses are high, meaning over $1,000, which would be $1,000.01, and up, then you get a lower rebate. So my formula is in rebate for expenses, and again it's going to be is total expense at most 1,000 or up to 1,000, either way. If it is, you're going to get total expense times 10%. If it's not, you're going to get total expense times 1.5%. So again, write it out, follow the directions and the instructions. It's easier, I think, instead of just going into the if statement. But if you want to just go into the if statement, that's fine. I click on the cell where the answer is going to be, fx, category is logical, function is if. Move this out of the way so I can see everything. Is total expense at most, which is less than or equal to maximum expense. If it is, I'm going to multiply total expense times rebate for low expense, meaning if they, again, have a low expense, they get a high rebate. If it's false, then I'm going to multiply total expense times rebate for high expense, meaning if their expenses are high, you're going to get a lower rebate. And again, if you know what you need to make absolute, you can make it absolute here. So B16, B17, and B18 should not move, so I'm going to make those absolute. Copy my formula across. So then double check it, because you should always double check your formula to make sure it's right. Get out a calculator if you need to. Is 625 below 1,000? Yes. They get 10% back. Is 745 below 1,000 or up to 1,000? Yes. They get 10% back. Is 865 up to 1,000? Yes. They get 10% back. Is 985 up to 1,000? Yes. They get 99 back. 99 because it's rounding up. Is 1105 up to 1,000? No. So they get a lower rebate, or they get the 1105 times the 1.5%. Is 1225 up to 1,000? No. They get a lower rebate. If a value in here changes, let's say 250 changes to 265, then this is exactly 1,000. And so the question would be, is 1,000 up to 1,000? Yes. So when you say less than or equal to, it means up to and including 1,000. They would get the 10% rebate. If this was $1,000.01, then they get the 1.5% rebate. So make sure you don't create a separate formula for each month, because then you'd have to go in and change it every single time. And the point of Excel is that you make one formula, and that formula works for all months or all items or all people that you're working with.